Has your health been covered up? Today, it's Revealing Wholeness with Dr. Troy Munson, presented to you by Infinity Whole Health.
Hello and welcome. I'm Dr. Troy Munson on Revealing Wholeness. You know, this is a fun podcast that I get to do because we just came off doing a fermentation workshop, and thank you for all those people that attended. It was well received. We split it up into 2 podcasts, and you'll find them on the radio, and they're about 24 minutes a piece, and so do listen to those. There's a lot of great information there, and it'll kind of give you an idea of even some of the thinking that I have when it comes to helping a client through something like fermentation. But this next workshop we're going to do is on cholesterol. And so same kind of scenario, we want to talk about what is cholesterol? Why is it important to the human body? Why has it been vilified? What does it really mean? How can I stop having fear when it comes to cholesterol and that I might die because of it? And so I'm going to give a couple of tidbits today. And Bill, you were at the fermentation. How did you like the fermentation workshop?
That was a great informative workshop. Gave us the opportunity to really look at fermentation and understand it better.
Yep, and then how it affects digestion. We had a lot of great questions. So, it's a question and answer kind of session. And anytime you get a doctor that has some understanding about a condition that you're experiencing, man, you want to capture that anytime and ask lots of questions. So if you're in the area and you'd like to go to the cholesterol workshop, and it is something that you're really concerned about, either for a loved one or yourself, we're going to be doing that at the probably latter end of January. We don't have a firm date because the venue won't become open to reserve it until after the first of the year. So as soon as we get that firm date, we'll have it to all of you. So stay tuned for that. But cholesterol, I mean, what have you heard about cholesterol, Bill? What's the fear?
Well, the fear is that your veins are going to plug up or congest in your heart or congest in your lungs, and then boom, you're all done because you got too much fat and stuff in the blood.
Indeed, and we all think that. And is my heart going to give out all of a sudden because my cholesterol is bad? Am I a walking time bomb? We really want to understand why the cholesterol is there in the first place. And most people, they don't realize that cholesterol is actually made by every cell in the body.
Wow.
And the vast majority of it is made by our liver. What cholesterol does is it goes out to our glands like the pituitary, the hypothalamus, the adrenals, the thyroid. It's used to make our hormones. And so some hormones are fat-based, some hormones are steroid-based, some hormones are water-based, or water-soluble rather, they're protein-based. And because of that, cholesterol is used to make a lot of our sex hormones more than any of the other hormones. And so if we're under stress, our body is saying, okay, if you're stressed out, do you want to bring a child into this world? Well, probably not. And so I'm going to take your sex hormones, which are cholesterol-based, and I'm going to convert them to cortisol and try to use them a different way and try to handle stress. And so cholesterol is really there for us to really be robust and to heal and to be strong. And so when we look at things like testosterone, estrogen, DHEA, progesterone for women, even men, we use a little bit of progesterone in our bodies. Those are cholesterol-based hormones. And so for us to take a drug and attack cholesterol, that makes little sense when we start understanding the value and the vitality that cholesterol brings to the table. And so why would cholesterol be high, and why have they implicated it in plaquing and clogging up arteries and causing heart problems becomes the big question. Why have they vilified it? Well, when we look at a blood vessel, our blood is mostly water. And so its pH is 7.0. And if I'm going to let's say my blood vessel cracks, and I'm going to put a scab to try and protect that cracked blood vessel because my blood vessels have begun to become weak, and I'm bleeding into my interstitial fluid, or the space around the blood vessels, that fluid area, I'm bleeding into that, we would call that a bruise.
Okay.
And so if we want to fix that, we have to put in a fix-a-flat kind of thing. And so we have to put in a scab. Well, if a scab on our skin is platelets and other things that make this nice raised bump because I cut myself and I go in the shower, what happens to that scab as it's sitting on my skin?
Softens.
It softens, and eventually it'll fall off in water.
Right.
Okay, because it's water soluble. Well, I can't use the same scab inside my water-filled blood vessel that's blood, as I do on my skin. Okay. And so the scabbing material has to be basically not soluble in water, and that's fat. And so cholesterol now has to go into that crack and begin to kind of pull other fats in to try to make a scab and try to heal that blood vessel. That's the job.
That's the job.
And so the doctors said, hey, there's these plaquings, and they're made up of cholesterol and other fats, and these are bad. And they named them bad. But never has anybody gone to a doctor with a cut on their head and said, hey, this weird raised thing that's all dark is on my skin. And the doctor didn't look at that scab on our skin and say, ooh, there's a lot of platelets and dried blood. I think that's bad. Could you imagine a doctor wanting you to attack the platelets in your body? I mean, we think that's crazy.
Yeah.
Why are you going to stop my clotting ability on my skin? But the same reasoning didn't hold true when it came to cholesterol in the blood. And so we want to understand why that cholesterol plaqued in the first place and tried to help that blood vessel heal when there was tearing down of the blood vessel wall. And the reason that happens ultimately is because of vitamin C. We're seeing vitamin C deficiencies in people so often that their blood vessels are beginning to swell and inflame inside their blood vessels. And now that creates cracking, and now cholesterol and other fats are trying to go in and heal that cracking so it doesn't actually burst open a main artery, and now we're just spurting blood inside of our body. And so it's an important reason why cholesterol's there. But if all we do is look at cholesterol and take a drug to handle cholesterol, we've missed the boat by a mile. And so as we begin to really help bodies heal and deal with cholesterol levels and understand that, we really need to understand that vital portion of how things are working in the human body. So that's kind of an overview of what we're going to be talking about, going in depth, and even be able to read your own blood tests and understand, what does cholesterol mean? What does LDL mean? What does HDL mean? What do triglycerides mean? And how does it really affect the heart? How can I begin to lower those naturally, dietarily speaking, and have a robust life that we all want? How do we pull cholesterol that's already in our arteries off of our arteries, hand it to the liver to dispose of into the gut, and get it out of the body safely? We're going to talk about all those things, and we have handouts and all kinds of fun stuff that are going to be there. And I look forward to seeing you at that workshop. And again, it's going to be the end of January 2018. And I look forward to seeing you all there. And if you have questions, if you want to go, please call the office at 360-893-8586. And we will get you signed up for that, and we will put you on a mailer so that as soon as we have that date, we can get it out to you and get you there and get you information that's so vitally needed in our day and age. Again, this is Dr. Troy Munson. I look forward to talking to you on the next podcast, and I will see you then.
This concludes another episode of Revealing Wholeness with Dr. Troy Munson. If you have any questions concerning this podcast or others, you can reach Dr. Munson by email at chiroman, that's CHIRO man, at dr.com. Or you can call him at his office during office operation hours at 360-893-8586. This show is sponsored by Infinity Whole Health on the Disruptors Podcast Network.